C'est moi, une fois encore, votre facilitatrice Patricia sur la chaîne Joy Learning, à la section de la révision. Aujourd'hui, nous allons réviser ce que nous avons déjà fait. Nous avons fait beaucoup de sujets. Nous allons réviser deux des sujets aujourd'hui. It's me once again, Patricia, your usual facilitator, here to revise with you some topics we have already learned. And as usual, as I always say, if you have not gone for your pens and your notebooks or exercise books, quickly go for them, because we are going to write down something to be able to revise after today's lesson. So quickly go for your pens and your notebooks or exercise books and join me as we go into today's lesson. Before we go to today's lesson, you can join us with the answers or any questions on the topic I will teach on the following phone lines: 030-2211-698 or 030-2211-699. And you can also join us on Facebook at Joy Learning TV, Twitter on Joy Learning TV, and Instagram Joy_Learning TV. So you can continue the conversation on those social media handles as well. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait aujourd'hui? Aujourd'hui, nous allons apprendre les pronoms relatifs. Les pronoms relatifs. In English, that is the relative pronouns. You remember your English lessons with pronouns. And I believe you remember we said pronouns are words used to replace nouns in sentences. Good. And why do we need to replace some nouns or pronouns, some nouns in sentences? We need to replace them to avoid repeating those nouns. So these relative pronouns are a group of pronouns within the family of pronouns. So we have already learnt them. We are going to revise what they are when we use them. And as usual, I'll give you some questions or exercise for you to call in with your answers. Les pronoms relatifs. What are they? They are used to connect a subordinate clause with the main clause of the sentence. So it serves as a link between a subordinate clause and then the main clause. They are also used to describe a noun or a group of words in the main clause. So those are some of the functions of relative pronouns. We continue with what they are and their functions. They are called relative pronouns because they replace nouns or pronouns in sentences. So that is why we call them relative pronouns. And we have two forms of these relative pronouns. We have two forms, and these forms are simple and compound. So we have simple pronouns, relative pronouns, and then we have compound relative pronouns. We will look at examples of simple relative pronouns as well as complex or compound relative pronouns. But for today's lesson, we will restrict ourselves to two of the simple relative pronouns. Examples of these simple forms of these relative pronouns are qui, que, and dont. I can see someone say, yes, I remember. Yes, we have already done them. So we have seen qui, we have seen que, we have seen dont. So they are the simple forms of these relative pronouns that will take two, that is the qui and que, and look at. Now let's look at some examples of the compound forms as well. So for the compound relative pronouns, we have lequel, laquelle, duquel, de laquelle, auquel, à laquelle, lequel, auquel, etc. So those are examples, some examples of the compound relative pronouns. That will be for another day. But for today, we are looking at the simple forms, which are two of the simple forms, which are qui and que. Very good. Now, the qui and que, what are they? We will take the qui first. The qui refers to persons or things. It is used as a subject of the verb because it acts as the subject of the verb in the sentence. So we can use this qui to replace a noun that is doing the work of a subject in the sentence. Now, when we say the noun is doing the work of a subject in the sentence, what does it mean? Good. It means the noun is the one doing the action. So any noun in the sentence doing the action is considered the subject. And that noun is the noun you can use qui to replace. Good. Examples of sentences with the use of qui. We have la femme vient. La femme vient. That is, the lady is coming. Then we have sentence 2, la femme est ma mère. La femme est ma mère. The lady is my mother. So we are going to merge or join these two sentences using the relative pronoun qui. Then we will have to do away with one of the nouns. That is the nouns doing the serving the purpose of a. So to join or replace the noun doing the work of a subject in the sentence, we will have la femme qui vient est ma mère. La femme qui vient est ma mère, which means the lady who is coming is my mother. So you see, we have the lady is coming, and that same lady is my mother. So in the first sentence, the lady is coming. The lady is the one doing the coming. And then in the second sentence, who is my mother? It is the same, the woman. The woman is the same subject here. So the la femme vient, the la femme is the subject. And then the second sentence, la femme is the subject as well. So in that case, we can conveniently replace one of them with the relative pronoun qui. So it becomes the woman who is coming is my mother. The same woman is my mother. Good. Example 2 with the relative pronoun qui. Le garçon parle. Le garçon parle. And the second sentence we have, le garçon est mon fils. Le garçon est mon fils. So le garçon parle, the boy is talking. Le garçon est mon fils, the boy is my son. So we are going to merge these two clauses, and then by so doing, we would have to do away with one of the nouns in one of the sentences. So we have le garçon parle. Who is talking? The boy. Then we have le garçon est mon fils. Who is my son? It is the same boy. So you see, in these two sentences, the boy is doing the work or doing the action. So we can comfortably replace one of the boys with the who. So when we replace or merge these two sentences, we'll have Le garçon qui parle est mon fils. Le garçon qui parle est mon fils. That is, the boy who is talking is my son. It is the same boy doing the talking, and it's the same boy who is my son. Now let's look at the relative pronoun que. So we have seen qui. Let's look at que. Now, que refers to pronouns or things that act as objects in sentences. So the qui is for nouns that do the work or act as subjects in sentences. And the que replaces nouns that do the work of objects. And when we say object in sentences, what do we mean? Good. It is the one who is suffering the action. Okay? So the object in sentences always become the one who is receiving or suffering the action of the subject. Now we have, it is used as the object of the verb following it in the clause, just as I have said. So it's used to, it can only be used to replace nouns doing the work of objects in sentences. It is also followed by a subject pronoun, which begins the subordinate clause. So these are some of the definitions or functions of the relative pronoun que. I'll go over them. The que refers to pronouns or things that do the work of objects in sentences. They are also used as objects of the verbs following them in the clause. And then they are also followed by subject pronouns, which begin the subordinate clause. Now let's look at examples with the use of que, the relative pronoun que. Nous avons le train est en panne. Le train est en panne, which means the train is broken down. The train is broken down. Then in the second sentence we have j'ai vu le train. J'ai vu le train. That is, I saw the train. I saw the train. So in the first sentence, what is the subject there? What noun is doing the work of the subject? Yes, I heard someone say le train. Is that le train? What is fault? Is the train that is broken down or is fault? Now in the second sentence, let's see the subject. J'ai vu le train. In the second sentence, le train is not doing the work of a subject. Can you see? Yes, le train is doing the work of an object, because the one doing the seeing or the one who saw is me, I. So I am the subject. What did I see? I saw the train. So it means the train is the object. So the first sentence, the train is the subject, but in the second sentence, the train has become the object. So when you see the sentences with one being the same noun, being the subject in one, and then being object in one, you can conveniently use que to replace the noun. So we will have le train que j'ai vu est en panne. Le train que j'ai vu est en panne, which means the train that I saw is broken down. The train I saw, or the train that I saw, is broken down. Have you got the difference? Yes. When the nouns in the two sentences are doing the subject, if the same noun is doing the subject in those two sentences, they will use qui. But where one in one sentence is doing the work of a subject, but in another is doing the work of an object, then we will use que. Another example with the use of the relative pronoun que. The first sentence we have, Il est l'homme. Il est l'homme. He is the man. He is the man. Then the second sentence we have, Ethan a vu l'homme. Ethan a vu l'homme. Ethan saw the man. So in the first sentence, we have, he is the man. He is the subject in the first sentence. And in the second sentence, who did the seeing or who saw the man? It is Ethan, not the man. So in the second sentence, Ethan is the subject, but the man is the object. So we are to replace the man, one of them, with the relative pronoun que. So it will become il est l'homme qu'il a vu. Il est l'homme qu'il a vu. He is the man that he saw. He is the man that he saw. I know you may be wondering, what is the meaning of the qui and the que? The qui and the que mean who, that, which. So those are the meanings of the qui and then the que. Now, if you have followed the lesson and understood it well, I am going to test your understanding. So as usual, you are going to write the questions and try your hands on them before we will do them together. As I always say, practice makes man perfect. Do not wait for us to discuss the correct answers together. Try, and then when you make the mistake, you will learn from the mistake. So make the effort to write the correct answer. And then together we'll do the answers, and then you mark yourselves at home. So we are using qui or que to fill in the blank spaces provided. So we have questions 1 to 5. Je cherche l'artiste dash étudie à Paris. Je cherche l'artiste dash étudie à Paris. I'm looking for the artist dash studying in Paris. Question numéro 2. Où habite le peintre dash j'ai vu aujourd'hui? Où habite le peintre dash j'ai vu aujourd'hui? Where does the painter dash I saw today stay? Where does the painter dash I saw stay? Question numéro 3. J'ai acheté le livre dash ma soeur a écrit. J'ai acheté le livre dash ma soeur a écrit. I bought the book, the reading book dash my sister wrote. Numéro 4. Trouver le chat dash habite dans le cave. Trouver le chat dash habite dans le cave. Look for the cat dash stays in the cave. Question numéro 5. Le chien dash court appartient à Chris. Le chien dash court appartient à Chris. The dog dash is running belongs to Chris. The dog dash is running belongs to Chris. So quickly write the questions down 1 to 5 before 6 to 10 will be projected on your screen for you. And as you get the answers, call in or phone in with your correct answers, and then let's see if you have really followed the lesson. And the numbers to call in with your answers are 03022111698 and 03022111699. We have questions 6 to 10 on our screen. Le repas dash nous avons mangé était délicieux. Le repas dash nous avons mangé était délicieux. The meal dash we ate was delicious. The meal dash we ate was delicious. Question numéro 7. L'homme dash nous regardons est mon oncle. L'homme dash nous regardons est mon oncle. The man... Allô, Gabrielle?
Yeah.
Gabrielle, comment ça va?
Ça va très bien, merci.
Ok.
Et
Tu vas répondre à la question numéro 1. Ok.
Oui.
Donnez la réponse.
Je cherche la fille qui étudie à Paris.
Qui étudie à Paris?
Oui.
Ok. Très bien. Je cherche l'artiste qui étudie à Paris. Ok. So, that is the answer for question 1. Applaudissez pour vous. Ou bien applaudissez toi dans la maison. Au revoir, Gabrielle. Ok. Question numéro 7. L'homme dash nous regardons est mon oncle. The man dash we are watching or looking at is my uncle. The man dash nous regardons. The man dash we are watching or looking at is my uncle. Question numéro 8. Le livre dash est sur la table appartient à Kofi. Le livre dash est sur la table appartient à Kofi. The reading book dash is on the table belongs to Kofi. Allô, Nana Joa.
Allô, madame.
Comment ça va?
Ça va très bien, merci.
Ok. Quelle question?
2.
2. Ok. Donne la réponse.
Où habite la peintre que j'ai vu aujourd'hui?
Où habite le peintre? Répétez.
Le peintre.
Le peintre, très bien. Et la réponse est?
Qui?
Qui ou bien que?
Allô?
Allô, oui? Qui ou bien que?
Oui.
Qui ou bien que?
Qui la peintre là aujourd'hui?
Is it qui or que?
Qui?
Appelez, spell it for me. Q?
Q-U-E.
I. En anglais ou bien en français? C'est I. Ok. Qui? Ok. Nous allons voir si ça c'est la réponse. Ok? We'll see if that is the response. Ok?
Oui.
Good.